Hey, this is Camila and this is my final progress marker. For this one, I decided to do something similar to my first progress marker, which was the crying boy. So for this one, I decided to draw a boy looking at his soul. This is my nephew. He's a great little model. For this, I used, let's move him over here. I used basically just my 14B. I decided to be ambitious this time because I feel like I never get things as dark as I want them to be, and then I kind of regret it after I'm done. I say, oh, that's good enough, and then I'm like, oh, it wasn't good enough. So I used my 14B basically for the whole thing. Even the lightest parts here, I used my 14B. I just used a lighter hand. I used my Mono-Zero eraser, as always, my lead holder for the sketch. Geez, these are falling. My Tortillion, my kneaded eraser, my regular eraser, and my dry brush. This is a game changer, y'all. It's amazing. I use this for blending. So for this one, I laid my tape down and then I did my sketch. And then I started rendering the background first. I did all the darkest parts first, except the hair, because I'm a procrastinator and I save the things I don't want to do for last. And I'm sure you can see why I saved that for last. That was terrible. It came out good in the end. I'm really happy with it, but that was the bane of my existence for a while there. For this one, this is my second attempt at doing this. The first time, Professor Jones told me I needed to implement more design principles to it, so I'm gonna focus on that mainly for this video. You can see them here in his eyes. The focal point was this, the soul here. So everything on his face leads to his eyes or to this, to the soul. So here, these triangles here will take you up and lead you to this one here. That will lead you to his eyes that lead to this. His nose points you down. There's the highlight here. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but it's like a triangle and it points you all the way down to here. Mapping these out was probably what took the longest as far as rendering went, like making all those decisions beforehand. Some of it, I couldn't avoid it, I just had to shade it, to get that depth and volume to his face, to give it that roundness. So I couldn't make, obviously, everything point to the soul, but I did try to implement some design principles in his face. Even here, all of these here point you down to his eyes. That lead you to this. And in his hair as well, it's almost impossible to see all the patterns that I laid down initially now that it's rendered, which is a little bit depressing, but life goes on. There's a lot of big, medium, small here, and light, medium, dark, medium, and light on the curls. They all follow a very similar pattern. That's why they all look very similar. These here are my favorite, these three here. And on his hands, it's all the same concept as his face. Even his ears point you down here to follow this line. There's a bunch of little hidden shapes that lead the eye down to his soul. Here, the highlights lead to the soul. The negative spaces as well, all these shadows. On his hair too, the negative spaces lead you towards his eyebrows that lead to this. So that's basically how that went. That was the most time-consuming part of this whole piece here, was planning everything out beforehand and then rendering it and realizing it's all gone. But yeah, that's my final progress marker. It's been a great class.